I think if I'm going to be honest with myself and you, I probably have GAS, the acronym for Gear Acquisition Syndrome. Now, one definition is this: it's like in video production, it's the compulsive, often irrational urge to purchase new cameras, lenses, and accessories, wrongly believing they are necessary for better, more professional results. Easy for me to say. I don't know that it's the fear of, but I just know over time I have accumulated a lot of gear. And there comes to a point, at least for me, about how much gear do I really need to create? It's something I've been thinking about. Part of it has to do with I admire minimalism. How much stuff do you need? I mean, just in terms of everyday things, I have one belt. Now, granted, if that belt breaks, I'll probably use rope. I have 3 pair of shoes. I have a pair of Brooks tennis shoes. Absolutely love those shoes. And a pair of just cheap work boots. And a pair of Crocs. Yeah, I'm a Croc guy. Throw hate all you want. Crocs are cool. But when it comes to gear, over time, I've had a lot of gear. I made a list of all the cameras I've owned since kind of starting my own thing. Now, as a recap, my background was in radio, then in television for a long time as a creative director at a Fox station, and we got to do a lot of cool things. So for the most part, the station bought all the gear, and we bought crazy expensive gear. And I remember then when I was starting to do my own thing, I thought, well, I'll get my own camera and stuff like that. And then 2017, when my position was eliminated, it was the same year I started my YouTube channel, and the rest is digital history, right? So over time, I've acquired a lot of gear. So I actually added up all the cameras I've owned. Now, I own some of these all at the same time, and then other ones I didn't. I don't have them all now, but I want to run through the list. And look, if you want to call me a gear hoarder, I'll take it. Webcams. I've had an Elgato face cam, a Logitech C920. I think that was my first webcam. Right now I have an OBSBot Meet SE. It's a little bitty webcam just on top of my monitor. I've redone my desk, and so it's kind of like I've got my production station here, and the rest of the monitor is on the other side of the desk, and so I'm doing that. So I just bought a little bitty webcam to have over there for meetings and coaching calls. I've had a GoPro Hero 7. I've had a GoPro Hero 9. Had a GoPro Hero 12. Didn't keep it very long. Then you get into the Canon cameras. I had a Canon AE1, my very first camera. It's a film camera. True story about this. I had it for a long time and ended up selling it just several years ago. And then not long after I sold it, I thought, what an idiot. Why did I sell that? That's like my first camera. And it was quite a while later. I sold it on eBay. I found the guy who bought it. He actually ended up buying it for his daughter, who I think was in film school. And I just messaged him. I said, hey, is there any way you would sell me back that camera? And he did. He sold it back for exactly what he paid for it. And everything. I mean, the bag and everything. So now I have it on a shelf in my office, actually with my wife's film camera. Then I got a Canon 60D and a Canon, then I changed to a Canon 70D. And the Canon 70D served me well. In fact, I used it on a mission trip when I was documenting a mission trip to Ecuador, and I was shooting a lot of footage for our church and stuff like that. Great camera. In fact, there's an example of I took way more stuff to Ecuador than I used. But then again, I was in Ecuador. I couldn't just run out to Best Buy and grab something. Had a Canon M200, Canon SL3, Canon M50. This is the first time I got into the mirrorless world. Canon M50 Mark II. Now, the reason I upgraded to the Mark II is because the Mark II has clean HDMI out, which basically is just a way to turn your fancy camera into a webcam. The Canon M50 didn't have that, so that's what I did that. Now, and here's the sad thing. When I had a Canon M50, I had two. When I had a Canon M50 Mark II, I had two. I bought a white one and a black one. I called them Salt and Pepper. Then Canon M6 Mark II. I actually had a couple of those. I sold one of them to a friend of mine. I kept one. Canon G7X Mark II. That's the small point and shoot. And then I upgraded to the Canon G7X Mark III. The reason I did is because for some inexplicable reason, Canon didn't put a mic jack on the Canon G7X Mark II. So if you wanted to shoot audio, you always had to use an external mic, which I thought was kind of stupid. Then for the only time ever, I left the Canon camera family and I got a Sony ZV-1 II. I don't even know if it's a Mark II, it's just 2. It was okay. It was nice, but I'm so in the Canon ecosystem, I just couldn't figure it out. Phones, which yes, I do consider a phone a camera. Now, right now, I've got my phone on here and I've got just some notes on here for this video, but I still use it a lot. iPhone 6, I changed to an iPhone 8 Plus, which was a great phone. iPhone 11, then I switched to an iPhone 13 Pro, which I wish I still had, quite honestly. But then I upgraded to what I have now. This is an iPhone 15, not even the Pro, so you just got the 2 lenses right there if you're watching this on video. So now we're up to present day, and these are the cameras. Hello. These are the cameras I have. iPhone 15, DJI Osmo Pocket 3, the DJI Osmo Nano, Canon PowerShot V1, which is a small point and shoot, and then Canon R50V, which is what I'm shooting this on. Part of what got me thinking about this and where I've just decided that I'm going to become, I don't even know if this is a thing, I'm just what I'm calling it. I'm going to be like a gear minimalist. But I really got thinking about this more when I was talking to my friend Tom Buck, another YouTuber, fantastic YouTuber, and he asked me a question, and I want to play that part of the interview because it kind of sets up the rest of it.
Do you have a most regretted piece of gear? Or not even that it's bad, but just like, I really didn't need this?
Well, I've sold more gimbals than I've used.
It's always a gimbal.
It's like, yeah, I mean, it's like I buy one. It'd take forever to balance it. I'm like, well, the heck with that. In fact, I was shooting for a nonprofit after a hurricane thing, and I remember I had the gimbal with me, but I didn't have it on the camera. They were going to donate some stuff to some of the homes that were being rebuilt. And she stopped suddenly, and I realized, oh, she's going to go in to see this guy. So in that split second, I can think, okay, I can take the time to try and do it on the gimbal, or I can just handhold it and do the best with it. And from that point on, I thought, I don't need a smooth, buttery shot. But yeah, gimbals to me are just like, whatever. When Tom asked me that, it really got my wheels spinning. Because the reality of it is, I didn't know he was going to ask that. There's a lot of gear I've bought that over time probably regretted that I did it, in the fact that, I bought it, I didn't need it. Earlier in that interview, and I really encourage you to watch the interview, I'll put a link to that in the description of this video. He said he and Heather, his wife, have this 24-hour rule on anything. They wait 24 hours. And that's something I need to do. And I wish I'd done more of. Yeah, a lot of times you can return it, but then you've gone through all that hassle. You can have all the gear in the world, or maybe some of it, but if you don't use it, it's worthless. So you can go buy a camera and buy a couple of lenses and some lights and some mics, but if you're not using it, it doesn't matter. I'll give you an example. So I was coaching a guy, super cool guy, and he was really wanting to do more and more videos he was an entrepreneur in his company. And he had some sweet gear, and he had like a 3 camera setup, and it was in his office. And every time we would do a coaching call, he would show me the different angles. And the next time we do a coaching call, he would have changed one of the angles. And the next time we do the coaching call, he'd move the camera. And what quickly came to light was he wasn't creating anything. But he was so into let me dial it in and change it, and it was keeping him from creating. And his name was Phil. He didn't need 5 cameras for what he was doing. So I do think sometimes it might be better to have less if it helps you create. I say that for me. Now, we could get all into easy setups to help you get going as well. There have been YouTube channels and businesses built on somebody sitting in their car with their iPhone and not even a dang mic. Just talking. The more gear you have, it can just cut in to the time you could be spending creating. I mean, look, I love these guys. Like, one of my channels I enjoy is a guy named Foresty Forest. And he travels all over in his van with his dog. I can't forget. Roscoe? Is that his dog? That doesn't sound right. And if you ever watch any of these, he's solo, right? He's having to set the camera up and walk by and then come back and get it and then move it. And it's just a lot of work. Now, he creates some pretty cool videos. But again, if you're new to creating, you're not really sure ultimately what you may end up creating. You'd always change. It can cut into that time. So I'm going to throw this at you. Instead of asking, what's the best camera? What's the best mic? I would ask, what gear is best for you? Or, if you want to personalize it, what gear is best for me? What camera is best for me? What mic is best for me? Because I'm telling you, you don't have to spend much time on YouTube when there's new gear out. And yes, a lot of these brands will send out free gear because they know these folks are going to review it. And my take is a lot of these creators don't even keep it. They may. I don't know. There's always probably going to be a new something in the world of video gear. And I love tech. I love gear. I love playing. And yeah, you get on there and you think, okay, I've got the mics I need. Oh, look at that mic. Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, look what they've done to it. Oh, that's really cool. And a lot of these features, you may not even need. I mean, I had it on Final Cut Pro, love Final Cut Pro, and I probably don't use a lot of the things that are built into Final Cut Pro that are really cool. So it gets that way on gear. You buy it, and there's all these things on here, and it's like, eh. So what I decided to do is I'm going to embrace being a gear minimalist, probably could be a little bit more so, and I'm going to sell the majority of my gear. So what I've done is I've just decided to put it on Gear Focus. Gear Focus is not sponsoring this. It's just, that's where I use. I've actually bought and sold, I've bought and sold an MPB, but I prefer Gear Focus. And the reason I prefer Gear Focus is you can have your own store on there. It's free. Now they take a cut of something you sell. I think it's better than eBay, quite honestly. There's a lot of protection in there, but you can have your own store on there. So anytime I've decided to sell gear, I put it up there. Plus, I got to know Bill, the owner of it, and as my late mom would say, he's good people. So I've just decided to sell a good chunk of my gear on Gear Focus. And I'll put a link to that below this video. Now, look, all that stuff is going to go live when this video goes live. I don't know how long the stuff is going to be up there. You know, I do hope it sells. So if it's all gone by the time it's gone, that's whatever. And again, this isn't an ad for Gear Focus. That's just where I've decided to sell it. Because I've gotten to a point where, sure, the money would be nice, but I just don't need all of that. If I were starting out today, so knowing everything I know with my background and everything, and again, I love gear, and you may love gear too, I would just use my phone and probably one of the DJI cameras. I used to say the Osmo 3. The reason I said that is because there is a little gimbal thing in there. I know I was talking to Tom about gimbals, but I might actually change that to one of the action cams because they're very small and they actually have some built-in stabilization and face tracking. But my point is, I probably wouldn't buy all this other stuff because when you buy a camera that also has a lens, then you've got batteries and capture cards. So, you know, you got to record on something. But that, if I were starting today, I would just minimize to that and go and probably just pick up a good wireless mic and go with it. In fact, I'd probably pick up a wireless mic that worked with my phone and the other gear. So I think there's something to be said about that. The reason that I decided to keep my two DJI wireless mics is because I have two DJI cameras, and there is something to be said about they just work with that wirelessly, and I can make them work with my camera and my phone. if the gear is holding you back, don't let it. When you're feeling that call to create, just create with what you have. You don't need a lot. I would say save your money. And if you feel like, well, I've got to just buy something, maybe a mic. But even then, it doesn't have to be a lot. So there you go. I am declaring right now on this day this video is published that I am going to do my best, my solemn oath. What is that? I was a Cub Scout for 1 year. I don't remember what it was. But I'm going to do my best to stay a gear minimalist.